will be close to the rural communities instead of transmitting them over long distances where the power that is supplied is usually very inefficient. The third anchor was to use universities. Almost every university in this country, without exception, started life in a rural community. Cities have grown to meet others, but some of them still have large communities, rural communities around them. And we thought that if we use the federal universities as the anchors for consumption, we can then extend to the villages and communities around them.
We have a Vox Pop segment, which is up next.
Electric shock, we avoid it, first of all, if possible. You get an expert to do it for you, if there's a problem.
Okay, just to take precautionary measures. You don't have to relate anything that has to do with, say, electricity with water. That's number one. Secondly, whenever you're not making use of your electrical appliances, you need to switch them off. And whenever you're leaving the house, that's one of the ways that you can avoid electrocution and make sure that your house is well heated.
Well, you don't have to have naked wires around your house. Then you don't operate electricity with wet hands or with your bare feet.
We don't expose the cable. That's the most important. There are some we put under the rock, and the one that we normally use, it has to be protected.
That we avoid overloading of electric sockets and extension cords. Our sockets at homes or in the offices should not be overloaded with some appliances. They also avoid stepping on electric wires on floor or ground, even if you have shoes. They also avoid operating an appliance or switching on or switching off apparatus with wet hand.
We do appreciate your views and comments and always look forward to receiving them. So please keep them coming. And you know you can always reach us through these various platforms and handles on your screen. But it's time to go now. And not to worry, I'll see you same time next week. Bye for now.
And so by the coup of January 15, 1966, the Nigerian Armed Forces took over the government of the Federation. A new leader of the nation emerged, a military man, General Aguiyi-Ironsi.
When the regional state televisions were merged to form the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in 1977, it became necessary to train the workforce to meet the immediate challenges. This led to the establishment of the NTA Television College in September 1980. At inception, the emphasis was on proficiency short courses. Things fall apart and the center cannot hold. Anarchy is loosed upon our land. Things fall apart and the center cannot hold. Things fall apart, fall apart.
The flute, always the flute while the farm dies. Why was my father born so careless, so irresponsible and without an ambition?
Things fall apart and the center cannot hold. Things fall apart, fall apart.
courtesan in marriage.
Because of the fact that we won from NTA Sokoto with Moment of Truth as our entry for the 78 drama competition, we were now chosen to come and to headquarters to produce NTA's first drama serial on television, which was called Crow at Dawn.
Television is a business of ideas and communication, and inherent in its very being is one of the most basic elements of human existence, the interaction of mankind's interest.
In our house?
Yes, sir. What were they doing there? They had come to arrest John.
Arrest John, our son? What for?
Well...
Look beyond the tired faces, look beyond the scattered races, see the heart of a true Nigerian. Hear the people saying Oshe, see the children singing Sandu, that's the heart of a true Nigerian. See, all we need is love, together we'll find a way through the storms. Checking tribes and sorting faces, get the notes and leave no traces. That's the tone of the old Nigeria. But knowing these are passing phases, spreading peace across the races, that's the mark of the new Nigeria. See, all we need is love, together we'll find a way through the storms. Ooh, yeah.
Hello out there, it's Wednesday night. Here is Fatima with the news that has the extra touch to it. Tonight is another night that promises to be exciting with its styleful stories. Now, the Lake Chad Basin is shrinking. The social and economic implication of this is not lost on the president, who is personally championing its reclamation. That story is in the kitty here. We also have stories on security as government and stakeholders strategize to combat various challenges across the country. At the National Assembly, The Senate and House of Representatives members have been busy with amendments and bills passage. Remember the Banana Island property of a former minister? We'll tell you what has finally happened to it. We also have business news and business-related stories, news on the foreign scene, and the sports world. As usual, sit back and enjoy the ride as I take you through the stories. I am Fatima Abbas Hassan. It's a pleasure having you join us. Now, if the fortunes of the receding Lake Chad are reversed, a lot of social and economic problems causing conflicts in Nigeria will naturally go away. And that is why President Muhammadu Buhari is warning that any delay or inaction in rescuing the Lake Chad Basin will accelerate the deteriorating standard of living of millions of people with dire consequences on the African continent and the world at large. The president was speaking at the high-level session of the International Conference of Saving the Lake Chad, from where State House correspondent Adabu Sambu now reports.
With the theme, Saving the Lake Chad to revitalize the basin's ecosystem for sustainable livelihood, security and development, the conference is aimed at creating global awareness on the shrinking lake, as well as developing a comprehensive action program to save it from extinction. President Muhammadu Buhari was emphatic that Lake Chad, as a source of livelihood to over 45 million people, is very dear to his heart. At the moment, he however said it is worrisome that with the shrinkage of the lake, more than 7 million people are facing threats of famine. Farmers and herdsmen struggle over the little water left, and the resultant joblessness and difficult economic condition is forcing the youth to join terrorist groups, hence the instability in the sub-region.
We must treat the issues of the Lake Chad with the urgency they deserve and show the needed political commitment toward reviving the lake. The time to act is now. The time to bail out the region is now. The time to show our humanity is now.
The federal government, President Buhari said, has initiated several measures to cushion the plight of the people living on Nigerian side of the basin, including the presidential initiative on the Northeast Recovery and Peace Building Assessment, as well as the establishment of the Northeast Development Commission.
As we continue on this journey towards our goal, I wish to use this medium to solicit for your continued collaboration and support. Let me reiterate our firm commitment to restore the Lake Chad to its former glory.
Chairman, Summit of the Heads of State of the Lake Chad Basin Commission and President of Niger, Muhammadu Isufu, said though ambitious, the mission to save the Lake Chad is an indispensable task that must be done in the interest of the security, stability, and development of the region.
The declaration of Abuja, which of course will follow, must incarnate a roadmap that is very important, which all our partners must support, so that we'll be able to actually bring to bear our ambitions concerning the Lake Chad restoration.
UNESCO believes that water is a catalyst for cooperation, and that cooperation is crucial for sustainable and peaceful development. We stand ready to assist member states of the Lake Chad Basin.
In their messages of goodwill, the presidents of Chad, Gabon, Central African Republic, Prime Minister of Cameroon, as well as representatives of the United Nations, African Union, the World Bank, as well as the Islamic Development Bank, commended President Muhammadu Buhari for his leadership and commitment towards saving Lake Chad and pledged their support and cooperation towards achieving the project.
It is therefore an opportunity for us to transform the issue of Lake Chad from a regional issue to an African concern. This is our commitment as African leader. This is our vision for the Africa we want. This is our legacy for the coming generations.
It is the expectations of participants here at this high-level conference that Lake Chad, which used to be known as the oasis in the desert and one of Africa's major treasures, will be revived and its viability fully restored in the interest of the security and socio-economic well-being of the sub-region. In Abuja, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Summit of Heads of State of the Lake Chad Basin have adopted an Abuja declaration to address the shrinking Lake Chad and other attendant challenges in the region. The decision was taken at the end of the summit on the International Conference on Lake Chad held in Abuja. Musbaut Anwahab reports that President Muhammadu Buhari was elected as the new chairman of the summit.
From plenary to syndicates and then panel sessions, the discussions have been robust. The heads of state were all ears to the observations and recommendations on how to achieve the water transfer option called TransAqua as presented by experts. In the roadmap and communique adopted by the summit, the African Union takes ownership of a challenge and endorsed the water transfer option from Mubange River in Congo to the Lake Chad. Member states were advised to adopt social and economic principles, prioritize security in the region, and strengthen regional cooperation.
Member states of the Lake Chad Basin should demonstrate high political will and commitment to save the lake from extinction. And 12, finally, there should be regional cooperation in tackling the Lake Chad Basin problems and other water issues in Africa.
Strengthen security apparatus along the shores of the lake to ensure commencement of studies and developmental activities.
African Development Bank is to lead in the sourcing of a $50 billion Lake Chad Fund, both from its covers and other donors. And the Italian government has taken the lead in support of a cause with a grant of 1.5 million euros for the feasibility study.
It is encouraging that workable ideas have been generated to resuscitate the lake, preserve the ecosystem, and stem the spate of incessant insecurity in the region to promote economic development under a peaceful atmosphere.
At the end, President Muhammadu Buhari got an additional responsibility of the continent with his election as the new chairman of the Summit of Heads of State of Lake Chad Basin, while Ambassador Mamad Nuhu, presented by Nigeria, was appointed as the new Executive Secretary, Lake Chad Basin Commission. Commitment has been shown and the primary objective of getting global attention achieved, but participants believe that should be immediately followed with action. And the time to start, they say, is now. In Abuja, Musbah and Wahab, NT News.
And moving on to security issues, the Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, says Nigeria's security should not be based on religious or political considerations. The Vice President stated this at the Northern States Stakeholder Security Summit in Kaduna. Haman Jabani has that story.
Against the recent security challenges in some parts of the North, the summit brought together critical stakeholders to brainstorm and articulate ideas that will engender lasting security and peaceful coexistence among the people. Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo, represented by his Special Assistant on Political Matters, Senator Babafemi Odudu, noted that the police in the recent years have done well, but charged them to improve on intelligence and community policing.
Security agencies should work together. They should work in synergy. You know, this idea of working in silos is not helping anything at all. So if they work together, they can share intelligence and they will to, prevent these things from happening.
Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris, who spoke on the successes recorded by the police, called for more support in the areas of communication and information technology, infrastructure, forensic and scientific aids, stressing the need for establishment of grazing ranches to reduce herders-farmers clashes in the country.
It's apt for us to reach out to various members of the community, for us to put our heads together to address the security challenges in Nigeria.
The bonds of trust that enabled communities to easily uphold harmony and concord risk being broken, and the cycle of violence, conflict scares investors away and slows much needed growth and development of the region.
It is very, very obvious that the Nigerian police force is overstretched.
This Northern Stakeholders Security Summit put together by the Nigerian police will not only address the security challenges in the north, but that of the entire country. In Kaduna, Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
In line with the federal government's recovery measures on the abducted students of government girls' Science Technical College, Dapchi, Yobe State, the National Security Advisor, Major General Babagana Mongono, has inaugurated a committee to unravel the circumstances surrounding the abduction. Olajide Bello was there and now reports.
The National Security Advisor, Major General Babagana Mongono, in company of the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, and high-ranking military personnel were in Yobe State to brief Governor Ibrahim Gaidam on practical strategies put in place in the search of abducted Dapchi schoolgirls. He said in the last few days, civil and military measures have been deployed across suspected areas meant to locate and rescue the girls safely.
In theater here, the theater command has already started working hard on the search 24 hours, non-stop.
Governor Ibrahim Gaidam said the tragic incidents of Gamman Girls Science and Technical College Dapchi has left the affected parents, the community, people and government of Yobe State in trauma, as 110 schoolgirls were unaccounted for. Governor Ibrahim Gaidam, however, noted that with commitment of purpose of President Muhammadu Buhari and opposition to Nigerian Army, there is every hope that the girls will be found and returned to their parents safely and healthy.
Estimation of the Boko Haram terrorists in the Miza forest, early warning signals were issued for imminent attack on some sub-targets, and therefore that should continue to guide our security operatives in mapping out strategies of combating the marauding insiders.
This is the third time a high-powered federal government delegation is visiting Yobe State on fact-finding mission, receiving progress reports, and synergizing with the state government in addition to stakeholders with a view to achieving target result. In Damaturu, I am Mustafa Yusuf Musa, NTA News.
Do bear with us. That was actually the report of the National Security Advisors meeting to Governor Gaidam, where he led a high-ranking military personnel, including the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, on a courtesy visit to the government house, as reported by Mustafa Yusuf Musa. Moving on, the Nigerian Air Force has refuted a media report that it has deployed 100 aircraft in search of the missing Dapchi girls in Yobe State. In a statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information, Nigerian Air Force, Ola Tokumbo Adesanya, he stated that the National Security Advisor, Mohammed Mongono, was misquoted while on a visit to Governor of Yobe State and spoke about the number of sorties so far in the search. The statement restated that the number of sorties does not equate the number of aircraft deployed. The campaign for the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, to continue the advocacy for national unity dominated the last lecture of the NLC at 40, which ended in Abuja. The forum urged the Congress to continue to take up the ruling class or relevant sections of the 1999 Constitution that addresses the plight of the ordinary man. Emmanuel Ayimero was there and now reports.
Of the agenda for the NLC tomorrow is to continue to kick against the divisive tendencies of some Nigerians for their selfish reasons.
NLC has a role to play in defending the interests of the Nigerian people. Anytime there is a problem in the country, like Professor Lorode said, people ask, where is NLC? That is a challenge to all of us.
The challenge is that you don't leave the political space entirely for them.
They have to realize that they have extra capacity to contribute in awakening the consciousness of political leadership in Nigeria in the fight for social justice.
Has agreed that the NLC should continue to defend national unity by entrenching social justice, since the movement appears to be one of the unifying bodies which does not encourage tribal or religious sentiments. The movement is to reinstate her heritage in the 70s and 80s, which was to wipe out corruption, poverty, inequality and crime, which are being promoted by unpatriotic citizens.
Are we going to fold our arms? Are we afraid to fight?
Nigeria's economy needs planning, and with market mechanisms controlled by the interests of the masses of the Nigerian working people.
Speakers therefore remarked that the Nigerian Labour Congress must rebuild the movement so that it can handle the potentials of the movement for the betterment of the ordinary man. In Abuja, Emmanuel Ayemiro, NTA News.
Now, the Nigerian Navy is to go into collaboration with the Staff College Germany towards improving maritime operations in the country and at international level. The Nigerian Navy and the college reached this agreement when the German military attaché to Nigeria paid a courtesy visit to the Western Naval Command. Abolore Agbara completes the story.
The commander of the Staff College, Thorsten Schulz, accompanied by the German military attaché to Nigeria, Thomas Biliso, was in Nigeria to seek collaboration and provide solution to some maritime challenges. According to him, Nigeria is important in the efforts to enhance safety on the country's waterways and the Gulf of Guinea.
We are involved in assisting the Nigerian Navy to acquire more boats to control the Delta, to have more presence in the Niger Delta and on Lake Chad. As well as when it comes to bigger ships, we train personnel in Germany.
Africa is a continent with a, let's say, growing impact and importance for even European security. And therefore it's important to find reliable partners. And I think Nigeria, and especially the Navy, as we learned today, is a reliable partner.
Rear Admiral Sylvanus Abba says Nigeria will always comply with international treaties on security and safety on the waterways.
We are making use of our maritime domain awareness facilities, and that one also aids us to monitor the high sea, whatever that is happening there. With such facilities, the fuel and other things will burn at sea. We have reduced them and only vector the ships now to go and effect arrest and come back.
It was another opportunity for the two countries to exchange ideas on additional military strategies. In Lagos, Abolore Ogbara, NTA News.
In another surprising move, the electoral umpire announces election timetable for the next 35 years. That's the outlook when News Extra returns after the break. Join us again.
Get an unfair advantage that puts you in front of everyone else. Be the first to create the latest online trends. Be the first to make the news. 4,000 Naira equals 12.5 gigabytes to upload over 5,000 pictures. Sell to more people faster than anyone else. 500 Naira equals 1 gigabyte for unlimited chatting. Be the first to know. Live on the fast lane and always stay connected to a world on the move. 5,000 Naira equals 15.6 gigabytes for 50 hours of unlimited video calling. Get the unfair advantage powered by Glow Data Unmatched. Also enjoy free YouTube and iFlix. Dial *777#.
The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, brings a new lease of life to Nigerian SMEs. SON has put a greater premium on developing standards aimed at improving the exports of the nation's food and cash crops. This explains why we have developed more standards for Nigeria's produce like sesame, cocoa, garri, and more, courtesy our accredited state-of-the-art laboratories. In keeping with the federal government's ease of doing business, SON has simplified its processes and turnaround time for SUNCAP and MANCAP to reduce substandard products and legal arm to prosecute offenders. Join Standards Organization of Nigeria in ridding our nation of substandard goods due to consistent market surveillance and raids. See something, say something. Standards Organization of Nigeria, improving life through standards.
The Ministry of Budget and National Planning, in collaboration with Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission, is organizing a luncheon to sensitize the business community about the Focus Labs being created to drive the implementation of the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, the federal government's medium-term economic recovery plan. The Focus Labs will be set up to deliver investments and job creation in 6 priority sectors: agriculture and transport, manufacturing and processing, and power and gas. and two main objectives: drive new investments for critical projects in the priority sectors and resolve complex intergovernmental agency problems that inhibit private sector investment. The luncheon will hold on Thursday, March 1st, 2018 at Oriental Hotel, Victoria Island, Lagos by 12 p.m. Attendance is strictly by invitation. For inquiries, please contact Tunde Lawal, National Project Coordinator, Ministry of Budget and National Planning, or Additional Emmanuel, Director, Investment Promotion, NIPC.
Breaking news. MTN gives 2,000% bonus for reactivating your MTN SIM.
That's right. If you haven't used your MTN SIM for 45 days or more, recharge now and get 2,000% bonus. That's right, 2,000% bonus for your first recharge of every month.
Sore throats, it's often caused by bacteria and viruses. Feels like they're having a party. You need Strepsils. It soothes the pain, plus it fights the germs with 2 germ-killing actives. Double power in one lozenge. Bye-bye sore throat. Take Strepsils.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant to achieve our creed as we promise. We shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
You're still watching NTA News Extra on the network service of the NTA. Now we begin with the Senate. The importance of trademarks to the economic development of any nation cannot be overstated. One can no doubt bring to mind well-known trademarks and how these enhance revenue ratings of a country. And Nigeria no doubt today government strides to diversify the economy, especially in injecting private sector participation in the workings of the economy. Promoting trademarks, therefore, has become imperative. And in the light of this, the Senate has passed for second reading a bill for an act to repeal the Trademarks Act of 2006 and to enact a comprehensive law relating to trademarks. National Assembly correspondent Dennis Adeguloye tells us more.
Senator representing Katsina Central, Umaru Kurfi, highlights the reasons to strengthen the existing Trademarks Act of 2004.
One of the reasons for addressing the trademark legislation at this time is the changing international trade market and aligning economic importance of trademarks to the level of business.
We have something special. Whether you sing, you dance, you're athlete, or whoever you are, you have a brand, you register it, it has value.
As part of our views, our efforts to stem of the economy and bring value for intellectual rights, this bill will go a long way.
Senator representing Abia Central, Theodore Oji, sponsored a bill for an act to establish the Federal Polytechnic, Aba, Abia State.
A purposeful diversion and high-tech investment in polytechnic education will provide working hands that will be self-employed, mopping up stranded nationals
in the ever-growing job market. That is one city that can bring about the needed Malaysian revolution.
This bill also passed second reading, as did that to establish the Federal Polytechnic Langtang Plateau State, sponsored by Senator Jeremiah Useni, representing Plateau South.
Our economy has very high potential and requires high-level technical, scientific, and administrative skills to drive it.
Chief Whip of the Senate, Olushola Adeyeye, sponsored a bill for an act to establish the Federal College of Education, Ila Orogun, Osun State.
Consider the plight of the people of Osun Central, who are desirous for this College of Education and who have already awarded plenty of their land resources to facilitate this.
Passing for second reading was a bill to establish the National Endowment for Arts and Literature to provide financial and institutional support for first-rate, notable works of art and literature, sponsored by Senator Shehu Sani, representing Kaduna Central. A bill for an act to establish the Federal Cooperatives Colleges, sponsored by the Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu, also passed second reading. From the National Assembly, Dennis Adegunloye, NTA News.
Now, the criteria for the selection of recipients of the Nigerian National Heroes Award has been faced with criticisms from different quarters, as some Nigerians have called for the review of the whole process. It is in response to this that the House of Representatives has begun the process of repealing the Nigerian National Heroes Registers Act and to enact the Nigerian Heroes Register. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Onkwo has more on that.
The bill proposes the establishment of a new agency that will stipulate criteria for the identification, categorization and selection of those to be honored as national heroes. Representative Abubakar Amuda Konike from Kwara State sponsored the bill, which has been passed for second reading.
We cannot just celebrate our heroes by just creating a register. And this register does not, this law did not talk about how we go into the process of identifying heroes.
The bill for an act to regulate the profession of forestry in Nigeria was also passed for second reading, sponsored by Representative Adeyinka Ajayi and Mojid Alabi.
No single nation in Africa of today that has a very robust forest policy.
Members congratulated Nigerian workers on their 40 years anniversary as moved by the Chairman House Committee on Labour, Employment and Productivity, Representative Onyewuchi Ezenwa, as the motion on the need to investigate the stagnation in the prices of some quoted stocks on the Nigerian Stock Exchange was adopted, as moved by Representative Femi Fakeye from Osun State.
I urge my colleagues to congratulate Labour today and say, Labour, in the past 40 years, you have done well in protecting the Nigerian workers.
I want to tell you that Nigerian Stock Exchange has allowed insurance companies to now sell their shares below 50 kobo.
The minority whip of the House, Omar Barde, moved the motion for the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to send relief materials to victims of the recent crisis in Kajuru and Chikun local government area of Kaduna State. The bill for an act to amend the Nigerian Broadcasting Commission was passed. Members observed a minute silence in honor of one of its First Republic members, Alhaji R.S. Shidabe from Lagos State, who died recently. The House considered and approved the report of its Committee on Sports on a bill for an act to repeal the NFA Act and enact NFF Act, and that of its Committee on Agricultural Production and Services on a bill for an act to establish the Fisheries Institute of Nigeria. The legislators also passed two bills, and this includes a bill that seeks to amend the Nigerian Immigration Service Act. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Answering from the legislature, the Senate Committee on Customs, Excise and Tariff says it will apply legislative powers where necessary to ensure that federal government is not shortchanged in the area of revenue generation. This was during an oversight visit to the Nigerian Customs zonal offices in Lagos. Ifeanyi Ezumba now reports.
Signing the decline on returns made by Nigerian Customs. The Senate Committee on Customs,
Excise and Tariff embarked on a fact-fighting mission to Nigerian Customs in Lagos to find out the reasons for the decline in revenue accrued to government with a view to finding a lasting solution that would increase government revenue. At the Federal Operation Unit Zone A, Ikeja, the controller, Mohammed Garba, told the committee that over 177 vehicles that are being smuggled into the country are in detention.
The Federal Operation Unit is an anti-smuggling unit. It is not a revenue-generating unit. What we do normally, our function, is to make sure goods that are not allowed to come in are not allowed. Goods that adequate money for the government has not been collected, we ensure such money for the federal government is collected.
The controller, Federal Operation Unit Zone A, also took members of the committee round the seized items.
I think a lot changed, starting from the number of seized goods here. The items we saw here when we came last, I remember very vividly. Among them, we have over 27 vehicles belonging to Imo State government, and they are not here now. But however, we have seen also a lot of seized or detained items, as the case may be.
All these goods you see here, they are either outright seized, pending further processes, or they are detained, pending the production of custom documents.
The committee, while emphasizing that they will continue to partner with Nigerian Customs, urged them to fast-track the process of disposing the goods to avoid being destroyed. Ifani Isumba, NT News.
Now away from legislative matters, less than 1 year to the 2019 elections. Do you know when subsequent elections in 2023, 2027 and beyond will hold? To tell you the truth, the political umpire INEC has let the cat out of the bag as it discloses dates of these elections at an interactive session with the leadership of the 68 registered political parties in Nigeria. It's over now to political correspondent Abdullahi Garba Birnikudu with the details of that meeting.
It is a quarterly consultative meeting between INEC and political parties, and the agenda is the Ekiti and Osun governorship elections and of course 2019 general elections. It was an opportunity for the parties to interface on issues relating to continuous voter registration, election plan and timetable in relation to the ongoing amendment process at the National Assembly.
INEC is not carrying political parties along when it comes to taking decisions.
The sequence of election are issues that some of us have challenges with. And lines, parties and the election body go hand in hand, even up to the printing of ballot papers.
The Independent Electoral Commission to be independent. Let the political parties and Electoral Commission be able to sit down, work together, and then steer this electoral period into
a very wide kaleidoscope of political parties with ideologies that...
INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu was forthcoming in answering questions from some of the issues. Of interest is the issue of fixing timetable for general elections, which he restated 2019 election timetable and beyond are no longer speculative.
In 2019, the dates are 16th February and 2nd March. In 2023, it is 18th February and 4th March. In 2027, is 20th February and 6th March. In 2031, is 15th February and 1st March. Should I go on? I have the list up to there, 2055.
The Commission also sought the support of political parties to clean up the voters' register and announced that about 9 political associations out of 42 have reached final clearance for registration as political parties.
Both INEC and the political parties are creation of Nigeria's constitution. So collaboration between these two partners will go a long way in strengthening Nigerian electoral process and democratic process generally. From INEC Electoral Institute, Abdullahi Garba, NTA News.
The Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has ordered final forfeiture of 2 penthouses in Banana Island, Lagos, linked to the former Minister of Petroleum, Dezani Alison Madueke. Justice Mojisola Olatoregu ordered the forfeiture of the properties today in Lagos. Abolade Salami has the details.
Justice Mojisola Olatoregun had on the 5th of December 2017 ordered an interim forfeiture of the properties after an ex parte application was argued by the EFCC. The properties include Penthouse 21, Building 5, Block C in Banana Island, Ikoyi, and Penthouse 22, Block B, also in Ikoyi. EFCC counsel ABC Ozioku had filed the motion on notice urging the court to order final forfeiture of the properties following interim order of 5th of December 2017. He informed the court that in compliance with the earlier orders of the court, the interim orders were advertised in the Nation's newspaper of 20th December 2017. Mr. Ozioku urged the court to cause the said properties to be permanently forfeited to the federal government and order prohibiting any disposal, mortgage, or sale of the said property mentioned in the application. Counsel to respondents, Bassi informed the court that he had filed a counter affidavit and was not opposed to the application for final forfeiture. In a ruling, Justice Olatoregun granted the order. Also, the kidnapped suspect, Chukwudu Meme Onwamadike, popularly known as Evans, is asking the Lagos State High Court sitting in Igboshere to quash the two separate court charges filed against him by the Lagos State government. The Lagos State government had brought a fresh 5-count charge against Evans and 3 others. Evans' counsel, Olukoya Ogungbeje, argued that the charges are grossly defective and constitute an abuse of court process. The Lagos State Director of Public Prosecution, Titilayo Shitabe, said there is sufficient proof and evidence linking the defendants to the crime. She said one of the victims identified Evans as one of the people that kidnapped him on November 24, 2014, along Festac Road and held him hostage for 54 days. Further hearing continues on the 22nd of March in Lagos. Abolade Salami, NTA News.
The contestations over the need for regulation of the social media in Nigeria ranges on, as some legal experts have called for a balancing of the freedom which the social media provides and caution from abuse. This call came at a colloquium organized in Abuja. Femi Okewo was there.
Already on ground today in Nigeria is a high level of dissatisfaction with the performance of regulatory laws in some sectors. This therefore brings about an equally high level of suspicion when people talk about regulations for the social media. But legal experts who came together in Abuja for a colloquium on the social media and freedom of expression said that while the use of the social media satisfies the constitutional requirement for free speech, government and the society have a duty to check abuse and security breach.
Specific criminal acts are not protected speech, even if speech is the means for their commission.
In fact, social media has increased terrorism around the world rather than curtailing. That's the truth. Because it was very easy for you to shut them out in those days.
Contributions came in various forms, with speakers interrogating whether with the social media, the law of libel, defamation, and sedition can no more hold. Others examined the jurisdictional challenges for litigating social media disputes. Convener of the colloquium that it is to help sensitize Nigerians on the delicate issues surrounding the social media.
We want to know, maybe from those who are better informed than we are, whether there can be a delicate balance of assessing the advantages of social media and at the same time making sure that we're able to minimize the disadvantages.
Issues raised from the event are expected to be sent to the National Assembly and the National Communications Commission. In Abuja, Femi Okewo, NTA News.
In line with the federal government's recovery measures on the abducted students of Government Girls Science Technical College, Dapchi, Yobe State, the National Security Advisor, Major General Babagana Mongono, has inaugurated a committee to unravel the circumstances surrounding the abduction. Olajide Bello has the details.
19th February 2018 cannot be forgotten so soon by Dapchi community in Yobe State with the adoption of students from the Government Girls Science and Technical College. It is part of the response by the federal government that a 12-man committee was set up to unravel the whole incident. The National Security Advisor who inaugurated the committee charged members to hit the ground running and meet their terms of reference.
To suggest measures that can lead to the location and immediate rescue of the abducted girls. To recommend measures to be emplaced in preventing future occurrences. Any other details the committee may deem necessary.
And at the end of the day, I want to assure you, sir, that we will make implementable recommendations to fulfill all the requirements of the terms of reference.
The committee is to produce a blueprint to serve as reference to be adopted in the fight against insurgency and terrorism. In Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Now, do you know the number of Nigerian artifacts stolen and hidden away abroad? The answer to this and other interesting stories on the next part of News Extra. Stay with us.
Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, will inaugurate the boards of parastatals and agencies under the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture. The boards of parastatals and agencies to be inaugurated at News Agency of Nigeria, Voice of Nigeria, Nigerian Film Corporation, National Broadcasting Commission, Nigerian Press Council, Nigerian Films and Video Censors Board, Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation, National Commission for Museums and Monuments, National Gallery of Art, Center for Black and African Arts and Civilization, National Council for Arts and Culture, National Theatre and National Troupe of Nigeria, National Institute for Cultural Orientation, National Orientation Agency. Registration of board members starts on Thursday, 1st March 2018 by 12 noon at the National Press Center, Radio House, Area 10, Gariki, Abuja. The inauguration of boards takes place on Friday, 2nd of March 2018 at 9 a.m. prompt. Venue, National Press Center, Radio House, Area 10, Gariki, Abuja. All board members and invited guests are to be seated by 8:30 a.m. Board members are to come along with their updated curriculum vitae, 2 passport photographs, and identity card. Announcer, Deaconess Grace Isu Gakpe, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
This is your playground. Get free 200,000 Naira preloaded on the new Jumbo SIM to talk, chat and browse as you like. This includes free data for Facebook, WhatsApp and Twitter on every recharge. Now every SIM is a Jumbo SIM. Existing customers dial *224# to join. The largest data network. Glow, grandmasters of data.
Shola, come and help me. You need to learn.
But I'm sewing.
How are you going to be part of the business if you don't learn?
You just don't understand.
Morning. Anyone for some Lipton?
The rich taste of Lipton awakens body and mind.
Let me have a look at your drawings. Son, these designs are amazing.
Lipton Yellow Label Tea. Awaken to what really matters.
There's such a thing as irresistible taste.
And you'll discover it in every pack of Chi Exotic.
When you feel the need to just relax, get lost in the taste.
The taste of celebration.
So, indulge and get lost in the taste of the Chi Exotic range of delicious fruit blends.
Oh, I love the taste.
Chi Exotic Nectar. I love the taste.
John is so cranky with this rash.
Semena baby is suffering from diaper rash, especially when using cloth or low-quality diaper instead of Pampers.
But money is so tight.
It's true, But it's such a waste to spend so much on products to clear diaper rash, rather than Pampers with built-in lotion that helps prevent rash and keeps baby dry all night long. Even in tough times, our babies must come first.
Nigerian Pampers, #1 choice of pediatricians.
Who wants to answer? Mary?
Mary has a toothache.
Oh, I see. And who knows why?
Because the tooth is too big.
No, it might be a hole in her tooth called a cavity. That's why I brush twice a day using Colgate.
Imagine this is your tooth and these are food acids that cause cavities. Colgate with calcium and fluoride helps prevent cavities for maximum cavity protection. And now available in a fresh new Icy Mint gel.
Wow.
Sabi, make una plan well.
Learn correct information about different kind of family planning method. Then they safe and they work well. You and your partner fit plan when una like to born pikin.
Tanda well, make you yarn with your partner. Make them sabi say you support modern family planning.
Oh yeah, waka go color be the better one. We go fit your body today. Cause say we get one way correct for you and your partner.
Sabi the correct thing where family planning they do. Follow talk family planning with your partner. Waka go do family planning. Get it together. Get it together. Join hand plan your family for tomorrow way better.
Now the Federal Ministry of Health they bring una this Get It Together tori.
There is a reason Africa is called the new frontier. What was once potential is now an opportunity ready to be seized. Once revered for our resources, today's wealth lies in our people. People who build the cities that shape the future. People who know an idea in one place means business in another. A generation for whom technology means there are no borders, no boundaries. We are the new lions in a brave new world, kings of the urban jungle. And there's a bank that puts the world in our pocket and the future in our hands. UBA, Africa's global bank.
We're glad to have you back. The Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, suspends operational licenses of telecom operators caught in fraudulent practices in the sector, plus stock market report. Now let's join Musa Toliat for the details of these stories and more on our business news segment.
Hello and thanks for joining us on Business News segment. The Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, has clamped down on telecom operators caught in the act of masking and refilling. The culpable operators have now forfeited their operational licenses to the telecom sector regulator, NCC. 750,000 phone lines registered with some telecom operators to carry out the illicit practices have also been barred. Director, Public Affairs, NCC, Tony Ojobo, who announced the various sanctions, said the action was informed by complaints received from service providers and consumers regarding the sharp practices in the sector. Call masking and refilling are illegal acts of hiding the telephone number of callers when routing international calls. This is with a view to profiting from cost differentials between local and international calls. The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria says access to simple machineries and equipment remain major hindrances to the growth and development of small and medium enterprises in the country. Director General of MAN, Segun Ajayi Kadri, however, stressed that regular equipment exhibition can help expose small business operators to indigenous manufacturers of equipment to boost their capacity at reduced cost.
It will be an opportunity for them to have an interface with those who manufacture those equipment. They're able to hold discussions with them, make orders for those ones they could see, and those ones that are not amenable to their current manufacturing processes.
People can access the right equipment without necessarily always having to bring them into the country.
They will be able to generate more revenue to invest into expansion, to build more companies.
The latest United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, UNCTAD report on Africa's food trade says an excessive dependency on imports to feed the continent portends clear risk for the future. The UNCTAD assessment, however, added that basic crops growth in Africa can be made into higher value products to create more jobs and stimulate economic growth on the continent. The finding provides useful insights for trade negotiators to iron out agricultural policies for Africa's Continental Free Trade Area, CFTA, ahead of March 2018 Summit of African Leaders in Kigali, Rwanda, where the deal is expected to be signed. Now to the stock market reports.
Trading ended on a positive note on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange today, as the all-share index stood at 43,330, with 571 million shares valued at 10 billion naira, which exchanged hands in 5,142 deals, while the market capitalization stood at 15 trillion naira. Nestle, Dangote Cement, Nigerian Breweries, Seplat, and Unilever topped the gainers table, while Red Star Express, UBN, Transcorp, Dangote Flour, and Linkashaw led the losers table.
That's it on Business News segment. Thanks for watching. News Extra continues shortly. Stay tuned.
Domestication of oil business opportunities in the Niger Delta and complementary and innovative funding mechanism dominated discussions at the 2018 first quarterly meeting of the Niger Delta Affairs Minister with representatives of the governors of the 9 states and chief executives of international oil and gas companies in the region. Joseph Johnson reports that the minister, Usani, who presided over the meeting, said anyone operating on the platform is now conscious of the fact that Nigerians have to be engaged in the business that are taking place in the region.
The perception of lack of access to participate in all business opportunities in the Niger Delta region remains one of the key drivers of disaffection by the local population. Now, this perception may not be accurate, a silent notion if you like, but it remains strong and central to challenges of peaceful community relations. This is part of the issues these participants are exploring.
Depending or relying on the government resources will not likely give us the development as fast as we desire it and deserve it. So we expect in the next meeting we will be debating on the proposal which will contain the mechanism and the business cases that will be attractive enough to attract private capital into the region.
I came here to talk about the Niger Delta Investment Fund, which is a $10 billion investment fund. The purpose of the fund is to channel private sector investor money into the Niger Delta region.
A synergy has been established among MDAs at the federal level towards the sustainable development of the region.
It is expected that the answers to the issues raised during the meeting and of course the resolutions reached will provide a basis for operational mechanism and of course the policy guideline to drive development in the region, particularly on critical infrastructure. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the reappointment of Mr. Segun Awolowo as the Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Export Promotion Council. In a statement signed by the Special Advisor to the President of Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, the appointment letter was signed by Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustapha. Mr. Awolowo, a lawyer and kind of the Obafemi Awolowo's family, was first appointed to the position in 2013. Prior to now, Nigeria was losing billions of naira to corruption due largely to embezzlement of public funds, bribery and other sharp practices. The adverse effects include poor investment and national crisis. This trend, the present government is matching words with action to reverse. Analysts say it is no longer business as usual and happy with steps taken so far to fight corruption. There are, however, misgivings over recent Transparency International report that ranks Nigeria low. Here are views shared by discussions on NTA Tuesday Live on the issues as captured by Talatu Ezerike.
It has been established that corruption, be it bribery, embezzlement of public funds, impunity, nepotism and other sharp practices, undermine national growth. This challenge led Nigeria's economy into recession, which the present government is tackling head-on.
We are determined to eradicate corruption from our body politic.
The fight against corruption, experts say, is gaining momentum in building strong institutions and instilling fear of corruption in the citizenry.
People who didn't refund the agencies followed them up. So that created enough awareness to the extent that some people, even on their own, started returning monies without being asked to do so. Because they didn't want the EFCC or ICPC to knock on their doorsteps.
What has been the driving force behind the anti-corruption crusade and efforts being made is actually the strong political will for the crusade to succeed. The BVN has also helped a lot because with the IPs, you are now able to weed out ghost workers.
Many Nigerians therefore see in bad light the recent Transparency International report that ranks Nigeria low, which does not reflect the true position of things.
Transparency International got it absolutely wrong. There are quite a number of indices and indicators that shows that the fight against corruption has indeed been reasonably successful.
Last year alone, we recorded about 189 convictions in the anti-corruption war.
I really came in and fight corruptions and everything was okay. But I don't know, the next person that will come up 2019, what the person will do.
It is quite obvious that the body language of the present government is that of fighting corruption to a standstill. This is widely commended, especially with the African Union endorsement of President Muhammadu Buhari to champion the fight against corruption in the continent. Talatu Ezerike, NTA News.
Many thanks, Talatu. Now, let me ask you, are you aware there are thousands of Nigerian artifacts that have illegally found their way to some museums, galleries and private homes abroad? Well, now you are aware. Let me also tell you the good news. The National Commission for Museum and Monuments says enough is enough. As a step towards addressing this illegal movement of artifacts and bringing them back home, the Commission is training officers for antiquities protection in Abuja. Oyinnaya Kalu Oka gives us the rest of the story.
The traditional arts of the forefathers in different Nigerian cultures are proof to the creative ingenuity inherent in the country. Nigerians' artifacts are rated high globally.
Unfortunately, since the invention of the historic Benin Kingdom in 1897, artifacts ranging from the head of the Oba, the Queen's Mother Ida, and the pendant marks were stolen.
Apart from the ones in Benin, many of Nigerians' artifacts from Ife, Nok, and Iboukwu can be found in major museums and galleries abroad. Although some, like the two artifacts taken by the British over 100 years ago, have been repatriated. To protect the artifact, the National Commission for Museums and Monuments is taking a drastic approach.
Because of the value and importance placed on these objects, its security requires a specialized approach and entails a continuous reassessment and improvement of the skills and methods to be adopted by personnel in charge of protecting them.
The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, commended the Commission for its effort of protecting the treasures.
The development of cultural industry and the enhancement of culture cannot be easy without first protecting them.
Participants are being trained on issues of protecting artifacts and solutions to repatriating stolen ones. Oyinnaya Kalu Oka, NTA News.
The federal government, through the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, has commenced the distribution of educational materials and food items to motherless and displaced children in IDP camps across the country. John Yaku reports that such presentations have so far been made in Edo and Bauchi states.
Items donated are branded school bags and food items. The donation is part of President Muhammadu Buhari's commitment to cater for displaced persons across the nation and to show love.
I've had interventions in 28 states and the Federal Capital Territory so far to alleviate the suffering of our persons of concern, while in the long run, we continue the plan to provide durable solutions to them.
Representative of the Edo State Governor promised the state government's commitment to support the cause to better their lives.
As much resources as possible to see to it that these people have a memorable stay as our guests and they have fond memories when they return to their homes.
We see this as an opportunity for the needs of the IDP to be highlighted and to be met.
Without educational materials, our future cannot be complete.
We appreciate you from the depth of our heart, because the time you came, it was actually time we need all those things that you brought.
Similarly, in Bauchi, the commission donated grinding machines, school bags, and exercise books.
While providing humanitarian assistance, the priority of the government is to ensure peace, security, and sustainable means of livelihood for IDPs through the Commission.
The National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons coordinates national action for the protection and assistance to asylum seekers. In Abuja, John Yaku, NTA News.
Well, another commercial break beckons. News Extra will return in just a moment, so don't go away.
Committee on Information, National Orientation, Ethics and Values is conducting a one-day public hearing on the following bills. A bill for an act to amend the Nigerian Television Act, Cap N24 laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 to provide for independent and impartial television broadcasting for general reception within and outside Nigeria. A bill for an act to amend the Nigerian Television Authority Act, Cap N136 laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004. A bill for an act to establish a trust fund for the purpose of financing and strengthening Nigerian entertainment industry to spark job creation and economic growth, to provide for the management of the fund. A bill for an act to amend the Flag and Coat of Arms Act, Cap F30 law of the Federation 2004 to regulate the display and use of the national flag, setting flag and national coats of arms, and for other related matters. The hearing is scheduled to hold as follows. Date, Tuesday, 6th March 2018. Time, 10 a.m. Venue, Conference Room 028, House of Representatives, New Wing, National Assembly Complex, Abuja. Interested individuals and organizations wishing to submit memoranda should submit same to Committee Clerk, Room 327, 3rd floor, White House, House of Representatives, National Assembly Complex, Abuja, on or before Friday, 2nd March 2018. Announcer, Honorable Odubumi Olusegun Dokun, Committee Chairman.
Take a good look at our world today and you'll discover something interesting. More and more drivers are choosing Mobil motor oils. You see, as engine performance becomes more important than ever, the vehicle owners are coming to expect more from their engine oils. They're demanding more mileage on a single oil change. They're demanding longer-lasting engines and smoother rides. They're demanding the best. And with Mobil, that's what they get. We raised the bar for motor oils with the Mobil Super 1000. And with the Mobil One, we raised it even higher. It's made using the most advanced engineering processes. Mobil motor oils leave your engine super clean, increase its durability, and keep it so well protected, it never stops running. So success for you depends on continuous movement. You need engine oil, engineered for that purpose. Mobil, performance at its best.
Make it Mobil. Sore throats, it's often caused by bacteria and viruses. Feels like they're having a party. You need Strepsils. It soothes the pain, plus it fights the germs with 2 germ-killing actives. Double power in one lozenge. Bye-bye sore throat. Take Strepsils.
Who wants to answer? Mary?
Mary has a toothache.
Oh, I see. And who knows why?
Because her tooth is too big.
No, it might be a hole in her tooth called a cavity. That's why I brush twice a day using Colgate. Imagine this is your tooth and these are food acids that cause cavities. Colgate with calcium and fluoride helps prevent cavities for maximum cavity protection. And now available in a fresh new Icy Mint gel. Wow.
The Federal Ministry of Science and Technology, in pursuit of its mandate of popularizing science, technology, and innovation, is organizing Technology and Innovation Expo 2018 with the theme Fast-Tracking Sustainable Development of Nigeria Through Science and Technology. The event, which is scheduled to hold from Monday 5th to Friday 9th March 2018 at the Eagle Square, Abuja, is intended to facilitate the commercialization of research and development results and encourage inventions and innovations. His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, who is the distinguished guest of honor, will officially declare the event open on Monday, 5th March 2018 at 12:30 p.m. Venue, Eagle Square. Date, 5th to 9th March 2018. Chief host, Dr. Obonaya Onu, Honorable Minister of Science and Technology. Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Science and Technology. Announcer.
Whenever pain occurs, you want quick relief. Try Nurofen Express. It goes to the source of pain and gets to work in under 15 minutes. That's why Nurofen Express delivers fast and effective relief. Nurofen Express works at the source of pain. Fast.
Being a mom is great, but when your child has a fever, you don't know what to do. I trust Nurofen for Children to take care of my child's pain and fever.
Effective relief you can trust.
Makes a Niger mom powerful.
I encourage my kids to learn new things, and if they get hurt, I rely on the power of my Dettol's One Capful to fight germs.
My family needs protection from germs. I use the power of Dettol's One Capful to disinfect surfaces and clothes.
I trust the power of Dettol's One Capful for bathing. The power of Dettol's One Capful protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Be a powerful Niger mom with Dettol. Be 100% sure.
Use Dettol Skin Jelly, which protects against germs for a healthy, smooth skin every day.
Efforts of the federal government in finding lasting solutions to the farmers-herders conflict in Nigeria has received a boost in Niger State, with plans to revitalize and expand the existing 30,222 hectares Bobi Grazing Reserve, situated in Mariga local government area of the state. Dauda Mohammed reports that the Grazing Reserve is one of the 23 identified reserves in Niger State.
The Bobi Grazing Reserve was among reserves established under the then Northwestern region, which was later transferred to the federal government with the creation of Niger State in 1977, before handing it over to the state in 2006. Since its ownership was transferred to the state government, the Bobi Grazing Reserve, with a total area of 30,222 hectares, divided into 7 blocks with 6 earthen dams, 4 solar and 2 motorized boreholes, with 5 pastoral plots, has been left unattended with no additional government investment. Niger State Governor Abubakar Sani Bello, while on an on-the-spot assessment of the reserve, assured the inhabitants of his commitment to revive the moribund structures and directed the setting up of a committee in that regard. Governor Abubakar Bello said his administration will assist genuine herders develop their capacity in the reserve.
What we need to do now is to expand the facilities, to provide more, to reactivate the already existing ones, like the one behind me, and probably do new ones.
Various leaders in the reserve commended the governor for his concern over their plight and assured of their utmost support in reviving the purpose of the reserve.
What we need the government to do for us, we need to the school and then develop the grazing reserve and returning the grazing reserve to the Fulani people.
The Bobi Grazing Reserve, which has 2 primary schools being run by an NGO, also has its own internal security network to maintain law and order. Dauda Mohammed, NTA News.
Evolving a robust sensitization and enlightenment strategy on the importance of the new National Electronic Identification Number issued by the National Identity Management Commission has been stressed. This was the thrust of discussion during the formal presentation of Servicom compliance evaluation reports on the Commission in 12 states and its headquarters in Abuja. Fatima Aliyu has that report.
I only know national identity card they are giving, but I don't know anything about national identity number.
I've not been educated or informed about the number, so I don't know.
This response by a cross-section of Nigerians underscored the need for continuous sensitization.
And the national identification number is the foundational identity. All the other ones are like functional identity. Therefore, you need to have this foundational identity before you get the other functional identities.
Using the Servicom index assessments in the key areas of service delivery, organizational effectiveness, policy commitment and innovation, the National Identity Management Commission was rated a little below average. The evaluation reports presented by the Servicom National Coordinator, Nena Akajemili, identify areas of strength and weakness in all states visited and also made some recommendations which include improvement on the internet connectivity and power supply, retraining of staff and upholding effective feedback mechanism from its customers.
We are not here to condemn your processes. We are here to encourage you and to also let you know what the customers think or how they perceive your services, and that a lot more can be done to improve on what you're currently doing.
In spite of challenges identified, the Director General, National Identity Management Commission, Aliyu Aziz, says it has made tremendous improvements from 7.2 million enrollees in 2015 to 28.8 million in 2018. He also said out of 4,000 enrollment centers required for smooth exercise, only 900 is available because it's capital intensive, and expressed optimism that the Commission is exploring the option of partnering with corporate organizations to deliver on its mandates. Fatima Aliyu, NTA News.
Ahead of the 2018 pilgrimage to Saudi Arabia, the National Hajj Commission has organized a sensitization workshop for intending pilgrims to keep them abreast of new policies introduced by the Saudi authorities. Garba Mohammed Nata'ala was at one of such workshops in the FCT, from where he filed this report.
Like every Muslim faithful, 35-year-old Halima Yehuza's wish is to perform Hajj, one of the pillars of Islam.
This is my first time.
Her wish is about to be realized as she is amongst those going for the 2018 Hajj. But then, there are things she and all pilgrims must know, and that is what the National Hajj Commission is doing here.
To some extent, the area council have started communicating the rules and buys of the Hajj to us.
Pay the money in time, then you do the biometric, which they say is a compulsory now.
And he told us we make sure that any person that is going to Saudi Arabia must have what is called tazkiyah, that he must have an imam, that he will testify that he is a Muslim.
Apart from do's and don'ts in the Holy Land, the National Hajj Commission reminded intending pilgrims of the need to beat deadlines for Hajj fares, as well as the introduction of value-added tax by Saudi government.
The Saudi portal for pilgrims process, documentation and registration will be shut down most likely within Shaban period, which is likely around May. So on our own part, we have set a target of the end of March for anybody who is interested in going to Hajj to indicate that interest with the State Pilgrims Welfare Board or the approved tour operators.
Similar sensitization continues across the country. In Abuja, Garba Muhammad Nata'ala, NTA News.
Well, step by step, we'll get there. News Extra is getting more interesting. When we come back, we have more on the foreign scene and the sporting world. Join us again.
We want to buy Indomie noodles. So fast, please.
Yo.
This is not my Indomie. Please, sir, if it's not Indomie, don't call it Indomie.
Sir, the taste is the difference. The difference is in the taste. That's why my brothers, my mommy, my daddy, and I all enjoy our delicious, so very delicious Indomie noodles. The difference is the taste.
Shop, 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 shop. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce. Shop, 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 shop. Let's go, yeah.
Hollandia Chocomouse, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, thinking. Shop, shop, oh yeah. Meeting. Here we go. Shop, 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 shop. Working. That's right. Shop, shop, yeah. Oh yeah. Playing. Yeah. Shop, 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 shop. Conversation. Shop, 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 shop. Here we go. Milk. Chocolate, malt, prepared mix ready to drink. Hollandia Chocomo, shop shop nutritious drink every day. Drink it up, I want it. Shop shop, drink it up. We want it. Shop shop, drink it up. Everybody want it. Shop shop, let's go, let's drink it up.
Hollandia Chocomo, oh yeah.
Shop shop nutritious drink, yeah.
Makes a Naija mom powerful.
I encourage my kids to learn new things, and if they get hurt, I rely on the power of my Dettol's One Capful to fight germs.
My family needs protection from germs. I use the power of Dettol's One Capful to disinfect surfaces and clothes.
I trust the power of Dettol's One Capful for bathing. The power of Dettol's One Capful protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Be a powerful Naija mom with Dettol. Be 100% sure.
Use Dettol Skin Jelly, which protects against germs for a healthy, smooth skin every day.
During a successful meeting between the organizers of the first National Grassroots Sports Festival, Sports for All, with stakeholders who requested for shift in date and subsequent presentation at the National Council on Sports meeting, the first National Grassroots Sports Festival, Sports for All, has been shifted to 19th to 29th of April 2018. Venue, National Stadium, Abuja, packages A and B. This is an opportunity for state government, public and private organizations, companies and individuals to promote their achievements and brand through the festival. For broadcast sponsorship, contact Angelo Peter I. Elosia, Chairman and Chief Coordinator, or Nick Oyinsi. Organizers, Grassroots International Sports Academy and LOP Worldwide Television. Endorsed by the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development. Broadcast partner, NTA, the largest television network in Africa.
Thanks for rejoining us. In the spirit of transparency and accountability, the federal government sent a delegation to reappraise the contract for a military hospital in a UN mission camp in Mali. This became necessary following controversial allegations of financial misconduct surrounding the project. Now, what is the outcome of that visit? That is what defense correspondent Ismail Musa is about to tell us in this next report.
On board this ATR-42 Nigerian Air Force aircraft are members of a high-level evaluation team drawn from the National Assembly, Defense Headquarters and the Ministry of Defense. Even while cruising at 3,000 feet above sea level, the team is still meditating over the critical task before them, which is not only challenging, but a national assignment and must be accomplished. The mission is to appraise the procurement of Nigeria's Level 2 hospital in the UN super camp in Timbuktu, Mali, after engulfed in controversy. The execution of the $1 million contract has come under the microscope, and this team, on pathfinding, is determined to get to the root of the matter. The scope of the contract awarded by the Ministry of Defense in February 2017, completed in November of the same year, involves the relocation and refurbishment of the Level 2 hospital from its initial site in the UN mission camp in Côte d'Ivoire to the ongoing African Union, United Nations Multidimensional Stabilization Mission in Mali. After a guided tour of the facility, it is time to cross-check notes and compare records.
The final relocation of the structure from the former site was completed. This made it possible for the hospital to meet up with the Q4 inspection. It is heartwarming to report 2017 contingent-owned inspection was a success.
The equipment that were damaged during the fault of the generator has all been fixed and functional.
The report of this delegation is expected to play a major role in what course of action Nigeria will take on the matter.
We are hearing other issues that are very, very important for the image of this country, the safety of our troops, and also for the benefit of the people we came here to assist.
Apart from boosting the image of Nigeria in global peacekeeping, the federal government is reimbursed for services rendered in the hospital. Nigeria currently has a total of 86 troops in the UN-anchored peacekeeping operation in Mali that started in 2014. From the super camp in Timbuktu, Mali, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
In the meantime, over 20 people are feared dead and several others displaced as the 7.5 magnitude earthquake hits Papua New Guinea. For details of this and more on Stories Around the Globe, Eliasu Ali Yakubu is standing by.
It's good to have you join us on this segment of the news. My name is Eliasu Ali Yakubu. We begin with a sad story of earthquake in New Guinea, where the entire villages were flattened and water sources destroyed by a powerful earthquake that killed over 20 people as rescuers struggled to reach the hardest hit area in Papua New Guinea's remote mountainous highlands. The 7.5 magnitude earthquake triggering landslides, damaging mining, gas and power infrastructure, as well as cutting communications. Some of South Sudan's 6,000 schools open for a new academic year this month, but the government is yet to ascertain the number. Teachers have not been paid, many of them, and their pupils are on the run after 4 years of fighting in the capital. Classrooms are filled with displaced families, and North Korea has been accused of sending equipment to Syria that could be used to make chemical weapons. A UN report reveals some 40 previously UN reported shipments were made between 2012 and 2017. The materials included acid-resistant tiles, valves and pipes. The allegations follows new report of chlorine being used by Syrian forces, which the government denies. That's it on this segment. The news continues in a moment.
And for a bit on sports now, Nigeria's representatives at the 2018 Winter Olympics back home as Serena Williams wins Sportswoman of the Year award. Amanzi Marcus has more on Sports Update.
The Nigerian contingent to the recently concluded Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang, South Korea, Tuesday night arrived Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, to a rousing welcome after their historic participation as the bobsleigh team are the first from Africa to compete in the event, placing 20th.
My goal for the Olympics was to do the best that I could, and I came in there and I had some personal best performances.
50 professionals from 8 countries, including Germany, will tee off the 2018 West Africa Golf Tour season, which starts with the FCT Classic at the IBB International Golf and Country Club Abuja on Thursday. Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed will perform the ceremonial tee-off of the tournament, which has a $25,000 purse prize, as the West Africa Golf Tour has slated 8 other tournaments in its third full season. Bali Education Zone are winners of the 2018 Taraba State Secondary Schools Interzonal Sports Competition, which ended recently at the Jolly Nyame Stadium in Jalingo. On the 4th and last day, Bali Zone defeated Gembu Zone 2-0 to win the football gold, in addition to 2 trophies in handball and athletics. Jalingo and Wukari Zones placed second and third. Correspondent Joseph Zanagambo reports that about 700 athletes competed in athletics, football and handball, and was jointly organized by the Sports Primary Schools Management Board and the Taraba State Ministry of Education.
To make sure that all our students that participated in the
the games. We have their names, we have their passports, and those are the ones who send them for all our competition, for all our games.
Tennis world number 1 Roger Federer has won the Laureus Sports Awards for a record 6 times after beating Rafael Nadal and Cristiano Ronaldo to the 2017 awards in Monaco, France. Serena Williams, who won the Australian Open in 2017, was named Sportswoman of the Year.